here just to see that there's such a feeling of yedidus, a friendship. I look, Father Rabbi Ephraim flew in from Detroit. He's somebody who's become a personal friend. We've become very close. I have a schus of being close to the singles, and your friendship means a lot, Rabbi Ephraim. And watching you with Rami, with your son, it's precious to see the father connected to the son. No yeshiva ever, no school. Thank you. No yeshiva or school ever can replace a tata mama ever. And chinuch has to, and increasingly in our dar, to me, the father, the mama, that's who are the most, that's who could do the most with children. I watch Yaakov Ellen with his father. I'm watching with the tata. I'm watching fathers and son. Yassel with his tata. A father and son. Avu b'nai. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. The story of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai that all our people plugged into. The story of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai of the tzaddik. It was an Avu b'nai. It was an Avu b'nai, the story of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and it's the story of the Yid holding on to Torah through difficult storms, through difficulty. The Yid, and it's the achana for Kabbalah Torah, and Klal Yisrael increasingly is grabbing on to the schus of the tzaddik, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and learning from the lesson of the tzaddik. And increasingly, Klal Yisrael is grabbing on. It's amidst storms, amidst difficult. The Avin Ben that hold on to Torah, the Avu B'nai, the father and his son that hold on to Torah. A lot of the story of the yeshiva, is the precious tata and the son and the tata, developing a relationship, working on the relationship, increasing the relationship. Success in yeshiva is judged that a bacher at the end of his career here is closer to his father, is closer to his mama, the mama and tata closer to the son. The yeshiva is a place of relationship. That's the Torah. We just try to be true to the Torah. Rav Wolbe, who knew Kol HaTorah, Rav Wolbe, who understood Torah well, very well, he wanted to sum up Torah. He called it a world of friendship, an Olam HaYedidus. Rav Wolbe's words were very measured. The world of Torah is a world of friendship and closeness. It's very, very special to watch. I saw Mayor Capps, he walked with his tata, his holy father. Friendship, the tata and his son talking together, walking together, learning together, being together, tata and son. That's the world of Torah is a world of Yedidus. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, when he speaks about it, he says, Gemara in Sukkah, Re'isi b'nei aliyah ve'emuatim. He said there are very few Bnei Ali in the world. He says if there's 1,000, me and my son would be it. If there's 100, me and my son. If there's 2, me and my son are them. He said me and my son. He should have said himself. How can he? But he means that it's going to be deeply me that it's going to go to my son. It's going to be deeply me that it's going to go to my son. To me, strengthening the father-son bonds are something all of us want. All of us have a tremendous want for that father-son bond. I've said over before, we've learned together this many times, the Radomsk, where he describes that Yitzchak Avinu loves Esav, and the most profound prayer in the world, that's my son. The deepest prayer in our life is when we look at our child, no matter what's happening. And there's Ava, it's not about a nachas machine, it's not about doing what we want, it's about that's my son. When somebody loves their son, a tata, right here is a mitzias of prayers. Fathers traveled from Los Angeles, from Detroit, from Baltimore, from Five Towns, from Lakewood, from Passaic, from Muncie, from all different communities, Highland Park. Fathers traveled Riverdale from all different communities and are here. That's my son. That's my son. My son. That's a tremendous, tremendous prayer because we're Hashem's children. We're Hashem's children. And a tata is into his son. The biggest prayer of our life is when we tap into that space. That's my son. And there's Ava. That's a prayer to Hashem. That's unleashing in the world. We're Hashem's children. So a tremendous appreciation for everybody, for coming, for being here. I want to get to learn a couple of things together. We want to sing together. We want to continue to fabring. I wanted to say over the sugi we learned this morning. That was beautiful to study some Torah. We didn't get to it. It's a funny Gemara how a father-in-law breaks laws. The father-in-law says to his son-in-law, Reb Chista says to Rami Bar Chama, you weren't at the Beis Medrash last night. That's not a typical father-in-law behavior. We didn't do the end of the Gemara, and this, maybe it's like, maybe you have to have caution here. The son-in-law responds, he says, serve me. I'm not sure I recommend this to son-in-laws, but every word of Torah is emes. And the son-in-law says back to his father-in-law, Rami Bar Chama says, I have an answer to your question. So the father-in-law, Reb Chisda, says, tell me the answer. And Rami Bar Chama says, L'chi teshamishli. If you serve me, I'll tell you the answer. Do something, serve me. That's a gutsy thing to tell your father-in-law. And the father-in-law, Reb Chisda, says, okay. Shakal sudrei karachle, he folds his scarf for his son-in-law, and he says, tell me pshat. And why does son-in-law say, serve me? They're really two kashas. First of all, it's not a very normal way to talk to your father-in-law. Serve me, then I'll tell you pshat. They also asked, Reb Chisda was a kohen. You know the Gemara in Brachas there, Reb Chisda, Mem Gimel, I think Reb Chisda was a kohen. You're not allowed to be mishamish. You're shalmi. It's usher to be mishamish a kohen. You're not allowed to ask a kohen to serve you. So it's strange, he said to a kohen, to Reb Chisda, serve me. You're not allowed to ask a kohen to do something for you. You're not allowed. If you need something, ask somebody else. V'kidashta, we have a mitzvah daraisa to sanctify the kohen. So how does he say, serve me, to a kohen? So first of all, how does he say it to his father-in-law? Doesn't sound like a very big respect to a father-in-law. And how does he say to a kohen? You're not allowed to ask a kohen. So in terms of the kohen, it's said that he wasn't asking for...
Is there even a push-up shot? Like, this is a weird thing to say to anybody.
Strange. Yeah, you're right. Rabbi Kiva is saying if it wouldn't be his father, it wouldn't be a kohen. It's a little strange. You want pshat? Serve me. Zav mud nemaisa. So Reb Shimon Shkop, in terms of why he said serve me, he said something very interesting. Reb Shimon Shkop says, and I've seen this in my life, I've seen examples of this. There were times I was curious about certain svarim. In younger stages in my life, I was curious about certain svarim and looked through them and didn't see a lot in them. So this is not for me. Then later on, I live. It's like life itself, those same svarim. What happened? What happened? The first time, I was like being a tourist. Let me see, no commitments, I'll see. The second time I had found interest in this topic, I read up and I've learned a lot about the authors of these svarim. And I didn't say, let me check it out. I came as a student. I came to learn. All of a sudden, worlds opened up to me. Sometimes you come with a certain cynicism, so you don't see anything. Don't see anything. I came cynical. All of a sudden, I read about these tzaddikim. It was different. I didn't come like, check out, let me see. And then I looked at, I don't know, you're not saying, no. I came with a certain, I saw something. It's interesting. It says about a Rebbe, if he seems like an angel to you, then seek Torah from him. Your starting point is, I like what this person has. It's very important to me. One of the successes of the yeshiva, Bachar Mitzray Wasnicki, he sees somebody who's an angel. So you say, what's his secret? If you're not impressed with your Rebbe's lifestyle, don't learn from him. It's not math, it's not a subject, it's not raw information, it's life itself. At the point that somebody sees a Rebbe, says, I want some of that. There's a Simchas Achaim. I saw my Rebbe, I saw somebody who I wanted what he had. There was something about him, he was plugged into something. And I wanted what he had. So the starting point is, I said, give me some of that. All of a sudden, when he speaks, it's not just, okay, he says something, I'll see if I... No. There's something I want. There's something I'm interested in, and you listen differently. You're plugged in differently. Reb Shimon Shkop says that what the son-in-law was saying, the father-in-law said to the son-in-law, you have a pshat, tell it to me. He said, my pshat is very subtle. If I know you're a student, you're coming really to learn from me. He's a son-in-law. He said, do an act of service. Tell me you're a Talmud. You really want to hear. You'll actually pay attention to what I'm saying. If you just, I don't advise this to a father-in-law, but the son-in-law was saying, if you do an act of service where you're saying, and actions matter, he folded his scarf, he said, now you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. I have found, I'll tell you something interesting. Jim, you ever had a speech? Let's say at a kiddush, somebody starts speaking. So if you just listen from where you're sitting, I'll say, you're in the middle of talking, you're like eating kishka, and somebody starts speaking, you turn over. Usually you won't hear anything good. Move your chair an inch. All of a sudden, he says, Dvarim Niflan. You'd be shocked that you moved your chair a little. You're saying, I'm a student. I mamish want to hear. Somebody starts talking in the Beis Mesh, you glance over. Like you're checking out. You won't say anything worthwhile. Move your chair an inch. You do a pu'ula. I'm a student. I came to learn. I make guys take off coats. It's like the main rule in yeshiva. Take off your coat when you get to a shiur. It's not that relevant this season. No guy ever is allowed to come to shiur in a coat. In a coat is a mitzias that I'm not here. Let me see what you're going to say. I'm not here. Nobody will ever learn. He didn't show up. He's spying. He's saying, take off your coat. Come, say I came here. I'm here. I'm presenting myself. Here I am. All of a sudden, he learns the Dvarim Niflam. He's here. He showed up. But the guy has to show up. He's ready to show up. And when he's ready, you can't force it. It's interesting. He said, serve me. But he's saying, let me see. Do a pu'ula. Show that you want to learn. Rav Shimon Shkop said his answer. My son and I were handling his answer. We didn't get, maybe next year's Father's Day. We have to get back to his answer. Is a whole other sugya that we didn't get to today. But his answer was dakos. There's a whole shakavatari about his answer. He said, to understand what I'm saying, you have to come as a Talmud, he said to his father-in-law. If you're a student, then I could tell you. If you're not, you won't understand. Fascinating. That's what Shimon Shkop says in terms of this. I wanted a Shlomo Guri here. I first wanted to introduce you. I wanted to say that there's somebody who learned here for years. And the impact Shlomo has had on yeshiva, he's somebody, it's funny he's playing music. Shlomo's music hits because of who the person, the midas taivas, the development is a very developed Torah. It's a very, very developed Torah. And I feel fortunate, my own kids are very, very close to Shlomo. My son is best friends with Shlomo. All my kids have a close shaykhus to Shlomo. He's a very, very developed Torah. He's somebody who's taught me a lot. I'm working on my own inner world of the people, of the Bachram and the Yeshiva, from the most developed, understanding, processing, working through sugyas in a beautiful way, in a tifa way. Shlomo is incredible. And the fact that guys get a shaykhus to Shlomo and are close, there's such humility, there's honesty, there's humility, there's sincerity. I want him to play a song that he's singing anyway. If he doesn't sing it, he's singing it. And this yeshiva sings this song. The yeshiva is an expression of sincerity, authenticity, want, a want for Hashem. I put my own sons in this yeshiva. I want them, it's not a persona of, it's not a perception of, it's not to be stark and people see you as stark. It's who we are. Inside, pneumius, it's who we are. We all, soul, we're neshamas. That one Hashem, this is a place where people access that place of want. By not forcing, by slowly allowing, by communicating, we actually access the place of want. It's a very big chiddush in Waterbury. There's a trust of people that's a shtickle wild. And the belief of the yeshiva is really that we're souls. I call it our soul desire. Both our neshama and our only desire, our soul desire. A person wants. I feel very nervous about the school system, that it crushes the want. We're protective to degrees. Do we have that the person here wants? Of course, there's something called shmira, but allow for the rutzen to come out. Allow for a person to find what I want, who I want, that I want. Anybody watching? I'm watching Shimshi Paneth grow. The whole yeshiva seeing a guy who wants the right things and growing beautifully in such a sincere, authentic way. It's a tremendous expression here of want for Hashem. So I'm going to ask Shlomo the beautiful words, Ka'ayol tara galafike mayim. An ayol is a desert animal that pines. Ta'aroig means to desire, that has a taiva, that has a deep and profound want. This desert animal that's thirsty like crazy, the hot sun. Yesterday, for many hours, we were being baked at the carnival in the sun. people were willing to give their kingdom for a thing of water. And then, of course, Rav Aryeh brings like worlds of water, like usually happens here. But it was hot, we were baking in the sun. And ayol is a desert animal that pines for water. Ka'ayol tara galafike mayim. He sits by the water holes, and it's dry, and he's going to die if he doesn't have water. My son and I watched this elephant, this nature show about an elephant, the real elephant they followed, who needed water. Eventually the elephant died because it needed water and couldn't get water. They followed. It bothered me a lot. They were videoing, so bring him some water. I have kashas. But the National Geographic, they hold not to get involved. I don't understand the sugya fully. I'm mad at the cameraman. Give the elephant some water. But the elephant eventually died. It didn't have the proper hydration. And kayol tareg alafike mayim, the ayol that's sitting there and all it wants is water. That elephant has clarity. I promise somebody, you really want water? It really wants water. Kei nafshi sareg elech elokim. My soul wants you, Hashem. Real. Are we always attuned to it? Often not. Do we feel it all the time? No. But we can actually get in touch once in a while. You experience it more here. You experience it here. Kayol tareg alafike mayim ke nafshi sareg. I want it sung here because the place sings it anyway. It's what's being sung here, whether we sing it or not. So we might as well sing it. Before Shlomo starts, I want to welcome. There's somebody who built this yeshiva. For a Rebbe in the yeshiva, humility, tzidkus. His son, Shlomo, is one of the heroes of the yeshiva. His son has the humility. He's a cool guy, good looking, strong. He's humble. He's nice to everybody. A successful business mind, a successful Ben Torah. He's nice to everybody. Shlomo Farkas. And I want to welcome, it means a lot, Rabbi Farkas, who built this, who's back here. Tremendous welcome. Rabbi Farkas and I are old friends. Rabbi Farkas and I moved to Waterbury 24 years ago. We moved to Waterbury together, and we've been together on this journey. Rabbi Farkas is somebody who, well before I understood the world, the inner world, I didn't know my own inner world, distant, and as such I was far from Svarim that deal with the inner world. And Rabbi Farkas was light years ahead of me as somebody who was in touch with his own inner world, and as such accessed an inner Torah. And today, the world, we're moving through the guys, through seeing people really dig into their inners. And that's all the inner Torah and the inner world is the same thing. And I really thank Rabbi Farkas as somebody, his shiur was in that corner, right where Yudi Lunger is with his tata. Rabbi Farkas for years sat here and lifted up, was Meraimim the Beis Medrash. It's been difficult. Rabbi Farkas has a shul in 5 towns. The guys have continued to stay close, and we've continued to stay close. But we miss Rabbi Farkas tremendously, and I thank you for being back home today. Thank you, Rabbi Farkas. I'm going to ask Shlomo if he could play the song that the walls here sing anyway.
Simon. Mussar, Mussar Yovoy Neroe Pnei Elokim Ayay Sama nafshi Lelokim Likel Chai Ayay Mussar Yovoy Neroe Pnei Elokim Ayay Ike Ayol Taharay Alafike Mayim Ike Ayol Taharay Alafike Mayim Kei nafshi saharay Eilecho Elokim Ike ayol taharay Alafike mayim Ke ayol taharay Alafike mayim Kei nafshi saharay Eilecho Elokim Tama nafshi lelokim Likel Chai Ayay Mussar Yovoy Neroe Pnei Elokim Ayay Sama nafshi lelokim Likel Chai Ayay Mussar Yovoy Neroe Pnei Elokim Ayay Ke ayol taharay Alafike mayim Ke ayol taharay Alafike mayim Kei nafshi saharay Eilecho Elokim The new translation you can also whichever one comes out. If you want to.
Let's see which ones we think.
Yeah. Eiles Yichudo Beilah Bilah V'Sata Bar Minach I can't do this without you. We're in this together. Don't leave me on my own. Eiles Yichudo Beilah Bilah V'Sata Bar Minach I can't do this without you. We're in this together. Don't leave me on my own. In a moment, surrounded by the darkness, I know I can fall on you. I utter this with fire on my lips and hope that the words sing true. In a moment, surrounded by the darkness, I know I can fall on you. I utter this with fire on my lips and hope that the words sing true. Ribono shel olam, kimani kal kol kal. I can't do this without you. We're in this together. Don't leave me on my own. I lay Zichuda V'Ilo Evisato Bar Minam. I can't do this without you. We're in this together. Don't leave me on my own.
Yes, you lead them from maybe Ben. Thank you, Shlomo. Many of the guys here are making decisions presently. There are two major decisions going on in the Beis Medrash presently. A lot of guys are deciding next year. The yeshiva, we push hard not to make the decision early in the year. Guys grow. If you make the decision early in the year, you're deciding for one person, and there's a new person now. In general, the Alter of Nevardik spoke, give up 1,000 tomorrows for one today. I think people spend a lot of their lives talking about tomorrow. Al Tatzer Tzaras Machar was a pasuk that the Alter of Nevardik spoke a lot about, and my Rebbe spoke to us a lot about being a present person. Live now. Don't worry about tomorrow's things. And this is something that the Alter was want and frequently spoke about, giving up 1,000 tomorrows for one today. And in general, I could see a guy could spend his 12th grade year, his 13th grade, next year, and next year, about the next year, and next year, at the next year. There's a presentness. Let's be present to here and now. It's even there's a month left. We're going to utilize each day, each opportunity, each moment to be very rooted in the present. So, as such, we don't want the 12th grade year to be very much about what the next year, though, of course, Chacham's Rayas Anoilat, it must be prepared, but there's time. So we ask the yeshivas, we have a good arrangement with the yeshivas that they give us slots, and we wait for later in the year. We allow to be present to what needs to be done now, and that's something that we pride in the yeshiva, that we try to be very present and very here now, and as such we push off. Lemaisa, guys are about to leave, and people are thinking about the next year, and there's a lot of decisions in terms of what to do next year. The yeshivas, the Siyat Hashem, the kindness, we've seen miracles, open miracles. Rai Fisher's yeshiva, Imre Bin, our two yeshivas, our guys have had tremendous hatzlacha, incredible hatzlacha in these two great places, tremendous places. Each one has their own nuances. We could talk about the nuance of each yeshiva. In Rabina, tremendous. There's a lot of learning. One walks into the Beis Medrash. A father called me last week. He went to visit Eretz Yisrael. You walk in, there's a lot of learning. The Beis Medrash is booming. First say, the second say, there are a lot of Rebbeim, an opportunity for very serious learning. And in Rabina, there's a lot of Rebbeim. There's a huge staff, and it accesses a very serious day of learning. There are many Rebbeim, many Chavrusas, many Chaburas. There's somebody who learned in this yeshiva who became a Rebbe in Imre Bina. And many of the guys here, two people who learned in this yeshiva became Rebbeim there. Many of the guys there become Talmidim of these Rebbeim and other Rebbeim. A lot of wonderful Rebbeim in the yeshiva. And it's a place that a lot of guys have a strong step up in learning. And Imre Bina affords that. It's, of course, it's connected. Guys are from here, so it's obvious there's a lot of inner work also. There are groups that meet to work on sugyas inside. Of course, it contains that as well. And the main features, it's a step up in serious learning. A guy has to almost make his own yeshiva. They're humble. The Rosh Yeshiva is a humble tzaddik, Reb Baron, Shlita, Reb Esra, very big people. But in their humility, guys have a lot of space to design their own yeshiva. And the guys go there. Typically, a guy from Rabin is somebody who here already built a day and then expands it there. But a guy who already was able to build a very disciplined and solid day here could then continue there and expand. There is a certain independence necessary in Imre Bina and expected there. And then a guy from that place finds Rebbeim and continues to grow. That's Imre Bina. Rav Fisher's yeshiva, Rav Fisher's understanding of the human being is something electric. He very much feels and understands, and he's created an environment that's tremendous emotional support and understanding and connection and relationship. The Shabbosais are tremendous there. It's a place of a lot of warmth and connection, and the Shabbosais are beautiful. So a lot of guys go there, and there's also very good learning. There's Shiurim. There's many guys that have gone from the Fisher to the Mir. There's a whole tract that goes directly. They go second year to Rebbe and third year, then the Mir. They're younger light who've gone on to very, very strong learning. The main mile of Rav Fisher is the emotional connection, the understanding of the inner world that he's outstanding at. And that's Rav Fisher, and we have Atzlach in both places. I'm telling you quickly about the yeshivas, so those that are making decisions can hear quick. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what's relevant to everybody here. We have choices. And guys are deciding, should I go to Rav Fisher and Rabina? Some guy might be 13th grade. The decisions, summer plans, have different options, decisions. All of us are deciders. We're choosers, and we have choice in our life. It's one of the incredible things Hashem made in the world. We have choice. Youngsters will often ask adult that I don't like choice. Could you do it for me? And the answer is no. Guys will all the time in different ways say, could you choose for me? And the answer is no. You're a chooser. It's a beautiful part of life is that we have choices and we really have to choose. So I want to speak about a point in the sugya of choosing. It's something that's important to me, and I want to speak about this, about choosing, about making decisions. Decisions are very, very hard. Very hard. To choose one thing means not another thing, and it's a very hard part of life. It's the coolest part of life. We're the only being that has choice and real decisions to make and serious ramifications. One day a young man's going to decide who's going to be his spouse. And he's really going to have to choose. And he could ask his parents, do you mind choosing for him? The answer is no, you're choosing. The choices are ours, real choices with real ramifications. And life has decisions, and nobody makes it. You don't hand it to a gadol, not a rebbe, not a mother, not a father, not a brother. Your choice, you have choices. And life is full of choices. And we're capable of choosing. We could seek assistance and clarification. When you go, one of the ways of telling, if somebody's the right balates, if they tell you what to do, run. Run from somebody who tells you what to do. They are seeking to destroy you, take away your choice. That destroys. It says, Saine matana siechya. The wisest man who ever lived said, if you hate gifts, you have life. Saine matana siechya. If you hate gifts, you have life. Explains the Sma that if you take from somebody, you relinquish your choice. That's death. To not have choice is death. Life is choice. Ubacharta b'chaim. Life is to have choice. That's what life is. And if somebody's beholden and therefore loses choice, that's analogous to death. That's what it means. Saine matanas yechya. Somebody who seeks to maintain their own ability to choose. My Rebbe, one of the main sugyas, he worked with us, is to learn to choose ourselves. He never would tell us what to do. That was taking away choice. He quoted his own great Rebbe. His own great Rebbe would tell him when he asked, he would say his name and he'd say, what do you hold? Teaching him to choose, to figure out, what does it mean, a parent, where's our role? Our sons choosing yeshivas, we ask questions. We help create clarity. I went to my Rebbe 2 years ago to discuss a very important decision in my life. He asked questions. help me. When somebody comes for advice, who has the answers? Somebody asks his father for advice. The one who asks the question has the answers. Kimayim amukim eitza b'levish. Like deep waters is advice in the heart of man. Ish chacham yidlena. The wise person doesn't tell you what to do. They help you access the answers that you have. When we ask a question, we have the answers. The wise person can ask, can help bring us clarity, can make it safe to discover, and allows us to bring out the answers that lie inside of us. The Mishnah says, Mar be'etza, mar betfun. If you ask advice, you get smarter. Smarter? If you ask advice, you know what to do. Why do you get smarter? You get smarter because a good ba'aleitza doesn't tell you what to do. They help bring out. So mar betfuna, you have more self-knowledge when you ask advice. If somebody always tells you what to do, run, because that's the opposite of life. Run to safety where you choose. If I had to describe our yeshiva, we're trying to produce people who know themselves and choose and find and discover. A kid comes here, it's crazy, we're nuts, he really has choice. So we're meshuggah. We're as crazy as Hashem himself, that Hashem allows people to have choice. Nuts. You got to be nuts to let a 16-year-old have choice. Meshuggah. The only one who saw Hashem did that, and Hashem knows what he's doing. He gave us choice. We really have choice. Now, there's a very important facet to decisions. And this is what I want to speak about this afternoon. This facet of decisions. And I want to say about choice. We sat at a Seder, we're traveling from Pesach to Shavuos. The Ramban says the days in between are Cholamayit, of one long Chag. We sat at the Seder, and we said that Yaakov Avinu went to Mitzrayim Anus Halpi Adibur, forced by God. Anus Halpi Adibur. The Tana says that Yaakov Avinu was forced to Mitzrayim. If anybody studies the Psukim, Yaakov Avinu decided to go to Mitzrayim. He wasn't forced. Hashem gave him Rishus. Yaakov Avinu decided to go to Mitzrayim. And in the Agadah it says he was forced to go to Mitzrayim. Learn the Torah. That's not what happened. Yaakov Avinu went to Mitzrayim, his own decision. Yosef found out his son was there, and he decided to go. And yet in the Agadah we say Anus. He was an Einus. Against his control, Al Pi Adibur, God sent him. I thought if you read the Torah, Yaakov Avinu chose to go, and we say he's Anus Al Pi Adibur. Now Mitzrayim was a very complex part of all our history. Difficult place, difficult years. And it was the choice of a man. Yaakov Avinu decided, interesting decision. His son Yosef was there, he thought about it, and decided to go. And yet in the Agad it says, Anus al pi adibur, he was forced by Hashem to go. Very strange, a decision to call it forced. And what I want to say, and I saw this in my Rebbe. My Rebbe was a person of faith, emunah in Hashem. He had real faith in Hashem. I can't prove it to you. I could just tell you what I experienced. I saw somebody who trusted in God, and I saw a calmness. There was a certain, almost a strange calmness, a menuchas hanefesh, a tranquil man. He was tranquil, he was a man of faith. He worked on it for decades and decades and decades, and he lived with an honest faith in Hashem. I could talk about it, the people here, Rav Hillel, we knew the Rebbe right there, and there was a person, if you knew him, was to see faith. A person who practically lived with a faith in Hashem. The hard part about faith is that we're choosers. If we weren't choosers, so faith would be relatively easy. Things just happen. It's a very difficult world because we have choices. And we tend to self-blame. We rip ourselves. Even our own as parents, we say, but I did this, I did that. A lot of self-doubt and questions. And the key point of faith is to understand that Hashem runs the world. A human being does what they can, even makes mistake. And even with the human being making mistakes, I'm not coming philosophically to resolve Yediyah B'chira. I don't care right now to talk about a philosophical thing. It's Bittul Torah. I'm talking about practically that a human being is shaykh to live as a chooser and to live with faith. I met such a person, that we have choices. And I want guys to know in making decisions that you're right, try your best and throw it up to faith. Hashem, I'm trying my best and I choose. Choose. Even with choice, specifically in choice is when you need faith the most. Yaakov Avinu chose to go to Mitzrayim, yet we call it Anas al Pi Adibur. He was forced. You know why he was forced? Because through his decisions, that's what it looked like to him, and that's how Hashem got him to go. We describe every morning, Hamechin Mitzadei Gavar, Hashem prepares the footsteps of man. It happened because God wanted it to happen. Human error, where does human error come in? We could learn what we can learn, but Hashem wanted it to happen. Wherever we are, wherever our kids are, wherever we find ourselves, we could be people of faith. I woke up today with this, even the mistakes, even all that, with all our human fallacy, with all our human frailty and human weakness, we're shaykh to plug in faith. It helps so much for decisions. Of course, the decisions, serious decisions. What yeshiva? What do I do? Who do I marry? Where do I go for the summer? Think, try our best, share with our parents, talk it over. Parents, a youngster talks to his dad, hear the shayla, the dad helps clarify, asks the right questions, and then we decide and figure out, and we have faith that Hashem Hamechin Mitzadei Gavar, He who leads the footsteps of man will guide us properly. The person of faith comes into play a lot in making decisions. We have different things, we have choices. You don't try to control things, you don't try to make a certain outcome. The Rebbeinu Shalom runs the world. We try. Yaakov Avinu thought through the best scenario, then he went to Mitzrayim, and now we see the story. Hashem sent him to Mitzrayim. Anos al pi adibur. Anos al pi, I thought he decided. That has nothing to do with anything. He decided means he gave his best shot. He did his best shot, and then Hashem runs the world. Go with faith. Of course, doing our due diligence, proper, healthy. In our decisions, learn to bring faith, practical faith. The guy's deciding for the summer serious things. He sits down, talks it over, and then he makes a decision and he has faith. Hashem will guide him properly. Chazal say that the feet of a person, ragloi de'inish, in an arvale, they're cosigns, they're guarantors. They bring him to the place, batar de mitboi, in the place he's supposed to go. Inu meivilinle, his feet bring him. Our feet bring us where we're supposed to go. Hashkachas, I look at this room, look around at this beautiful room. What are the odds we'd be together? I've become very close friends with Reb Jim. He's a tzaddik in Los Angeles. I'm a dude living in Waterbury, and Hashem put us together. Hashem runs the world. Hashem. I love the last night guys speak and describe how they ended up here. Never met the guys. Guys are talking real that night. There's no fake words. I was like, I don't know how I ended up here. It didn't make sense. I don't know. I just something. I don't know. There's inun layade maz layade. He didn't know his mazel knew. Reb Nachman speaks. He has a piece. He's very into trusting your gut. We all have a ruach hakodesh, and trust. If you have a gut, you have a sense. Then throw it up to faith. Hashem gave me this. Is I do my best to my ability. I look in. I'm very into trusting gut. Very, very into trusting. You have a sense. So then that's the hashkachas Hashem, and allow Hashem throw it up to faith. Trust an instinct, trust the gut. I'm very into that. You sense, why am I going? Because I thought about it, I did my ishtadlus, and then I'm going to have faith in Hashem. And Hashem, we're very, very big. Hashem runs things. We have a soul, and Hashem runs things through us, and not to be afraid. I want to tie in faith into decisions. I think we live in a world, there's a lot of anxiety. I think decisions, faith coming together. Bitachon is most expressed to choosers, precisely because we have choice. And precisely in the places where we choose to have faith. I'm going to try my best, and then Hashem, you'll make sure it goes the right place. So I want to say that in the decisions, it's an opportunity. We're working in a matzah, we're choosing. Yaakov Avinu chose to go to Mitzrayim, and historically we view it, we don't say, whoa, we don't reanalyze that choice. We actually say we went there Anas al Pi Adibur. We went there because the Rebbeinu Shalom decided. Okay, the vehicle, the instrument of that Einus was Yaakov Avinu's decision. But that's only the instrument of that of Hashem running. And I wanted to build that and to learn that ourselves. To learn that ourselves and help our children learn that. An acceptance of faith. By the way, the amount of father, there's very common, all of us as fathers make mistakes, we're human. And today the main sign of there was a lot of shame for youngsters and adults. It's a lot of shame prevalent, the sense of I made mistakes, irreparable mistakes. It's all a sheker. It's all a sheker. One of the best things we could do for our families is to have confidence, not show, have confidence. I'm here. Hashem runs the world, even to our mistakes. A person of faith. Hashem runs the world. We're here, and we're just accepting, working in the present, working through, being present, to put faith, emunah b'Hashem. I saw a Yid that lived this way. I saw a real person. I feel his loss when I speak about it because I have to connect to it more. Because when he spoke about it, he didn't have to tell us about it, we saw it. So we have to plug in ourselves. We could gift our kids with faith in decisions, and with decisions, but despite decisions, there's a world of faith. It's interesting, in the Torah, it speaks about kiyipol hanoifel. There's a halacha that if you have a high area, you have to build a fence. So nobody should fall. It says there that if a person falls, kiyipol hanoifel mimenu, the faller fell. Chazal asks, he's not a faller till he falls. It should say the man will fall. If you have a high area, that offends a person. It says the faller will fall. Says Chazal, it's teaching us Roy Zelipol. It was supposed to happen. How fascinating to teach us Hashgacha. There is human error. Some Meshugana didn't build a fence. He had a high area and somebody falls. And there is where Hashem chooses to tell us it was Roy Zelipol. It was supposed to happen. Precisely where there's shaykhs to human errors, the time you need most, Hashgachas Hashem. It's true. It's not to absolve decisions for the foe. We're choosers. And get in there and make choices. But it helps being choosers. Choose and have faith. Choose and have faith. Choose and have faith. So I say to the guys and I say to the parents, try to get the most informed decision. And don't be afraid of choices. Don't be afraid. You sent your kid here and it worked. Look around the room, it worked. Because Hashem is Meichen Mitzadei Gover. He gets us where we need to get. He gets us where we need to get. The last night, guys described, how'd I end up here? It's amazing. Hashem prepares the footsteps of man. So my bracha to us all. I want to sing a little more and end with another message. But my bracha to all of us. My bracha me'umka delibi abirchas hedyet is Hashem should give us that strength to have faith. Should give us that clarity to have faith. All of us to have an emunah, a real faith in Hashem, and then make choices. Of course, beautiful part of life. With honesty, we try to think. We want to grow. We want to get close to Hashem. We want to have beautiful, successful lives. Not to be afraid of choice. Don't run from choice. Don't give up. Don't absolve. Don't hand it to somebody else. No Rebbe's deciding. You didn't come to take away Bechira here. You actually came to a place that acknowledges Bechira, that says we're capable of finding me and what I want and figure out choices. Each person, don't be afraid of choice and put faith in there. Put faith. Go in with the faith. Hashem, I'm trying. Give me clarity, and then we have trust in Hashem, even in making decisions, specifically in decisions, and even with failed and frail human beings making decisions. Have faith. Understand. It's like complex philosophically. I saw a man that lived it. We're shaykh to such a thing. We all should be zaycha to this clarity, to make decisions and to plug in faith in those decisions. There are many people to welcome here. There are many people. I wanted to specifically say in our mishpacha, in the yeshiva mishpacha, the Young Rice mishpacha, Avigdor Young Rice is here with his father. Avigdor Zayda was somebody, when I was young, I looked up to, was a Talmud of my Rebbe. It's somebody, he is a beautiful Yid. In the family, they suffered loss. I think this brother was nifter, and I want to say that on behalf of the whole Chevra, we wish a nechama. Hashem should be menachem. Avigdor and his whole family. What I heard about this youngster, from his precious tata. Was a youngster who went through tremendous yisurim, tremendous pains. But there was a Kabbalah's yisurim ba'ava. There was somebody who was accepted as yisurim. And there was a Kabbalah's yisurim ba'ava, is the highest, that speaks about the parents. The Zayd had real amunah. The Zayd is a maimon. I know the Zayd, he was a Talmud, he's a person in a deep way. He's a maimon. And in the Mishpacha, you see Amunah, Avigdor. We're thrilled to have this tremendous Bacher Avigdor, and we're gonna work in our own lives. It should be an Eloi for this precious neshama. It's a tzchus for the whole family. We're gonna all work on our own challenges, not ignoring, not pretending, but Kabbalah's Yisum, one of the Kinyanei HaTorah. One of the Kinyanei HaTorah, this is a basic necessity for Torah. Somebody's Mekabel the Yisurim, but it means not just to ignore, to pretend, to be present to it, to understand Hashem's working with us. Klal Yisrael's in the middle of a matzah. We're in the middle of a situation, difficult. I don't say Kabbalah's Yisurim as a pretend anybody could just ignore reality, take another l'chayim. That's not Kabbalah's Yisurim. Kabbalah's Yisurim is to cry, is to feel, is to really understand what's happening, but also in this deep place, Hashem's working with me. If I say as an ummah, it's difficult times. We have Yidden right now, we have Yidden underground, we have Yidden in enemy hands. And that's a difficult time. We have soldiers in precarious situations, but the Akara Hashem's working with our people, not said lightly, and we're praying, and we want, though Hashem should be matir asurim, should free the prisoners, and the soldiers should be safe, and Kol Yisrael should be safe. But the Akara, that Akara, Hashem's working with us. Hashem is working with us. That Akara, that Amun. I want to sing with the Chevra. I'd like to sing the Bala Tanya song, Keli Ata Vaideka. We absorb that Hashem loves us. We feel it. I don't like just saying Hashem loves us, because that's not what we're teaching. Hashem loves us, but if I don't feel it, it doesn't matter. If you tell your kid, I love you, and he says, I don't feel it, it doesn't mean anything. Hashem, Keliyat Vaideka, means that we're capable of absorbing the love of Hashem, that we're capable of experiencing it in our lives. Keliyata, you're my God, Vaideka, and I thank you. I feel Keli, not Elokeinu, Keli. I feel personally loved and cared for personally. Keliyata Vaideka. Elokai and Midas Adin. When it's difficult, Elokai Raimeka, I'm miraiming you, I have faith. You're miraiming. You're miraiming mikol machshava, I have faith, you're working with me. I cry, I scream, I feel, but I have a deep-seated faith you're working with me. So yes, let's sing this song together. Keliyat Vaideka Kairai Mecca. Then we'll have some closing words. Is Johnny here? Is Johnny here, Chevra? Johnny, could you start? Is Ben C. Newman here?
Yeah, he's hiding in the back corner.
Where's Ben's? Is Ben C. Newman here? Not a bad idea.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Not a bad idea, Mr. Zan. There's so many, their fathers who have been fathers in the Masifta for a long time, and as much as there's a certain sadness, there's a reality of guys who are about to leave, and it's difficult. It hits different of us at different times. Some guys it doesn't hit. Some guys till like the day before, to the day after, it doesn't hit. It's normal that it hits different people different times. It's interesting. The last night guys speak, and it's still like, could it be Thursday night? Maybe it's more convenient. There's something that hits the last night. You can't switch it for a different night. It usually, most guys chap the last night that we're really leaving. It's hard to chap it earlier, even though it's words, but just because you say it doesn't mean you feel it. There's a long distance, what we say and what we feel and experience. To most guys do not emotionally feel they're leaving in a month. It's not true. They intellectually know it, emotionally, no shaykhs. Zero. There's a long distance in what we say and what we feel and experience emotionally. As you get closer, there are different moments that it hits. We had a dorm counselor who had his offer of this Shabbos, and he left. It was ma'arer, a lot of sense of the year coming to a close, a lot of sense of leaving. Today, their fathers that are here, they've been here a long time. Rabbi Salzberg is a childhood friend, and his kids have been in yeshiva for many years, Dovi and Shmuel. They're both tremendous B'nai Torah. Maybe we still have hope that Shmuel will come back. Who knows? Pashtus is going to Eretz Yisrael. He has decisions. But I want to express, Yechiel is a childhood friend, and I want to express that it's hard. Kasha alai predascha. The many parents' involvement, and it's a journey that we share together. A journey, our own stories, our kids' stories. It's a journey of growth, of coming closer to Hashem. That many fathers, I'm looking around, that many fathers, we've shared this journey for a long time. Yechiel is one that comes to mind, who's Pashtus, his son is going to Eretz Yisrael. It's been really an incredible journey of, we've steiged tremendously together, from Dovi, from Shmuel, with Dovi, with Shmuel. So I want to mention that about Rabbi Kalish. I want to mention to all the fathers that it's heavy on us, not just the son leaving, the father also. We're not going to be as much in touch, or even the once or twice a year, a few times a year, we get to learn together and fabrang together. It will be missed, but we're Baruch Hashem for good reasons, for people advancing. It's for good reasons, so that's a comfort. I wanted to ask, talk about one of the fathers, Reb Jim Kapsik, somebody who's become, or you did, my children are zeichet to be very close Our children are close, and we've gotten to have a beautiful long-distance kesher. I do not get to speak as much as I want with Reb Jim and his family, but he's a serious growing person. And the kids have come and made a big impact on yeshiva. Meir is one of the heroes of yeshiva. His kesher with Rabbi Russ, a real Rebbe Talmud. There's no pretend to it. Rabbi Russ is not playing the part of a Rebbe. They're just close. They have honest conversation, honest connection, honest learning together, a credible relationship. Meir has made a big impact. He's grown tremendously. He got an award in basketball, the most improved player on the court. I held he tied for MVP with Yisrael. I would have given 2 MVPs. Not my place to be moicha. Maybe the most improved they were talking about in the Beis Medrash, the growth they were talking about. So, Raisi b'nei Aliyah ve'emuat, and I think to switch the word to the Ben Aliyah award. Bensi Rezaicha Bensi and his tremendous. I like when the physical and the spiritual are aligned. Bensi physically has put on a lot of muscle. And he's somebody who's growing, who's finding the him that we're all in the process of looking for. That search for that deep place that we connect. Hashem was seeing tremendous growth. So I want to ask Bensi to play for the Olam B'Secha Zena. here now? We were Zayich, and it wasn't taped. The guys wanted it not to be taped, and that's what we followed. We had a week where many guys spoke. Many guys spoke about, we spoke about the power of Taiv. My friends and I thought that my Rebbe was, he really ran away from publicity. He didn't like publicity. He was somebody who was a private man who shunned the limelight. He ran away. My friends and I did not know that he was known. We knew that we were impacted. We did not see it that way because we didn't see him as a person so out there. He wasn't out there. In a day of a lot of media and publicity, he didn't like that kind of thing. He didn't follow the crowd. He didn't play for the crowd. He was a yachid. He was an individual. And my friends and I, after his patira, people are calling and saying, and we're looking around. We didn't know, like, I'm not making it a thing. He was the first one who didn't make it a thing. To be on publications, he ran from that. So I'm not saying that's a thing. It doesn't mean something for itself at all. What I am saying is the power of goodness. That goodness is impactful. Goodness endures. Goodness impacts. Taiv is very powerful. So much expression is given to the power of Ra. A lot is discussed, bad influences, internet dangers, and we have to pay attention. There's something called bad and something could impact bad, but equal time has to be given, or more time, to the power of good. When I started the yeshiva, there's words from Reb Nachman that I wanted to play all the Rebbeim. The first meeting we ever had 15 years ago, this Masifta, I wanted to play words from Reb Nachman. Reb Nachman said, tamin she'efshar lekalkel. If you believe you can destroy, tamin she'efshar letaken. Believe you can build. I feel there's so much time given to efshar lekalkel. Efshar letaken. The yeshiva screams. This yeshiva screams. Efshar letaken. Look at the yeshiva. Growth, healing, sincerity, climbing. Efshar letaken. Goodness is powerful. We put so much time into bad influences. There's such a thing. Of course, Adam Nimshachach Esvivaisav, the power of good, the power of Taiv, the power of sincere. We see in a dorm one sincere person, one Shlomo Feltman in a dorm, the whole dorm becomes God-fearing. Good is fire. Good overwhelms. Good is crazy. Good is powerful. Taiv l'tzadik, v'taiv l'shchenei. One Morty Samwitz, and like the whole campus becomes tzaddikim. That's how it works. I have watched for years. You have one Aaron Smilowitz, one guy in the back plugged in. The power of Taiv. So we had a project. I felt guys should get up and speak about one influence, but one influence in their life was just real, no pretend. The guys stood up for the whole week. We probably had close to 50 guys present. How many presented? Maybe 30? Nobody counted. There's a lot. What? Maybe 50. Maybe 50 over the week. 40, 30. Guys, no, more than 30. 40, 50 guys presented. More would have gone. We ran out of time. We did it for a week. Many guys spoke about a parent, a grandparent, a sister. A guy spoke, a brother, whose sincerity changed the course of their life. A grandmother, a grandfather. Many guys got up in beautiful ways, described this was not for publicity's sake. So I wanted, again, it means a lot. The Tat is here. The power of Taiv. The biggest impact we have in our life is not what we say, is not how, it's who we are. It's who we are. Sincerity impacts. I look at my Rebbe, the impact that went from one side of the world to the other. People calling, saying, I didn't happen. But that's the power of Taiv. That's one of the things that has hit me and my friends. We thought something was like our secret, and it impacted from one side of the world to the other. The power of sincere, of authentic. There's a story we really have to get. You understand why the yeshiva schedule's off, right? Brownstein doesn't keep us on schedule. I have a story with him. I just want to close that once a year, the whole yeshiva went on a retreat. It was my Rebbe's time to shine. That Shabbos was his Shabbos. He sang with the Olam. People asked questions. He spoke. Typically, he gave the yeshiva to other people. He was not the one running the yeshiva. There were other people running. He was in the background. He supported the yeshiva. He funded it. Very few guys in the later years were deeply connected to him. One Shabbos of the year, the yeshiva belonged to the yeshiva's retreat. There were hundreds of people on the retreat. One bacher, his appendix burst, and he had to go to the hospital. My Rebbe could have asked any Rebbe to go with him. Could have asked any Beis Medrash guy to go with the bacher. And it was his Shabbos, and he loved that Shabbos. He waited the whole year for the Shabbos, and 500 people waited to have Shabbos with him. He booked on the Shabbos to help the one bacher. He left the Shabbos. Not to have it till the next year. That's it. Bye. 500 people, your time to shine. It's his Shabbos, his kumzitz, Q&A with him. It was his Shabbos. He left it, one bacher's appendix burst. Bye, he left the Shabbos. He taught us he didn't run after the limelight. He ran after what's true. I suspect he had more influence on all 500 that Shabbos by running after the one bacher. It changed my life. I was zeicher to spend that Shabbos with my Rebbe in the hospital. We had no food. We had a bulkla. We had one roll. We had no food. It was the nicest Shabbos probably in my life. I was in a hospital room hidden with my Rebbe for Shabbos. They called the police. They kicked us out of the hospital. A doctor hit us. We were in a room. Me, 2 friends, 3 boys, and my Rebbe were there for Shabbos, hidden in a room. It was incredible. But the biggest thing I learned that Shabbos is that sincerity. One bacher needed him. He left the whole thing, 500 people waiting. He saw the yachid, he saw the individual. That leaves an impression. To do what's true, what's sincere, what's right, not to look for publicity. So I want to thank each father here. To the picture of the fathers with the sons is delightful. It's beautiful. Zayda with the grands are beautiful. Just beautiful. All of us should be zeicher to have tremendous hatzlach in our journeys, tremendous nachas from our Yiddish nachas from our children, tremendous success. All are invited. We'll go together. There'll be a good volleyball tournament. We're a funny place. We like sports. We like competing. A lot of netzach exists in this yeshiva, so we like competing. It was funny. I remember 2 years ago when the fathers came. A father came. He was like calm at first. Then by the middle of volleyball, he was arguing on calls. It was wonderful. The guy came home. His wife sent one guy. He came home 25 years younger. I'm sure he was fighting calls. I hope we get to a place we can argue on some calls. We'll have volleyball. Does anybody know if Brownstein, if we're doing it inside or outside? We're just inside. I want to publicly thank Rabbi Brownstein does for the yeshiva. It's lo yeuman what he does, how much he sets up, how much he arranges. His dedication to all of us is something otherworldly. Tremendous thank you to Rabbi Brownstein for all he does for you. Everybody's invited. We'll start. It will start in about 10 minutes in the gym. We'll start volleyball.
Body bench.